Hi, I'm Zaira, and I just want to talk about New York City and the social scenes here because I've noticed that there is not a lot of like native New Yorkers that are like involved in things that are not relating to either their work or their family. And what inspired me to talk about this is I can't find the guy's post, but it was basically like a New York City dinner like club thing. So you would like sign up and go to dinner and meet other people. And I was like, let me see about this. So I go on the website, and of course, the first questions they're asking you is how many Instagram followers do you have? Put your Instagram tag in. There's a wait list and everything. And I really do feel like the social scenes in the city are ran by non New Yorkers. Like they run every little thing, and I want to talk about it. So the first thing that I noticed is I go clubbing now pretty often. And before I was part of like the New York City like underground scene. And that is ran by actual New Yorkers. Um, it still technically exists. It's just not as fun as it used to be honest. Like I feel like it was way more lit during like 2021, but not as much now. I mean, they still have events, but whatever. Anywho, the point is that is run by New Yorkers. So there's local DJs, local event planners, as you want to call it, I guess. But when it comes to more of like the social light scene, they're not New Yorkers like at all. And I think the main issue too is the fact that like they just like I don't want to say they gatekeep, but I feel like there's two sides to every story because obviously a lot of these people are what we would consider a gentrifier, or some of them are just straight up just influencers. And it's, trust me, like I've seen a lot of videos of like the influencers and the New Yorker influencer, and everyone's saying you guys are boring, but like it's a bitch from West Bubblefuck. Like she not even from here. She not even from here. That's why that bitch is boring. Like what the fuck? Do not include us in that, okay? Do not include us in that narrative because it's not us. It was never us, okay? Anywho, the first point that I want to bring up is how New Yorkers just stay in one spot. Like, I feel like any native New Yorker that I know, like, they don't go out that often. And if they do, it's like in their area, or maybe on occasion they'll go into the city. But I think this is due to multiple reasons. One, depending on where you're located. Like, if you're like deep in the Bronx, deep in Brooklyn, far into Queens, you're not going to want to come to the city all the fucking time because that is a long ass commute, especially for an event and not really anything that's getting you paid. So that's understandable. Also, another thing I would say is probably comfortability. I would say a lot of New Yorkers are comfortable on where they stay at. So it's like if they live with their families and all their friends live in the area, it's like why would they come again like all the way to another borough or like into the city to go to an event or a party when again like all their locals are in their area. So I think that's another reason. But to be fair, I also think that a lot of these like influencer or whatever you want to call them, because not all of them are really influencers. Some of them are literally just like promoters or people that have like made their way in. I will say a lot of them, since they come here without usually without family or support a family, depending on who they are, of course, because some of y'all, we know you got money at home. We know you have money at home. But anyways, like some of them they come here and like they be hustling. Like I'm keeping a buck. They do be hustling. And because of that, I feel like they try harder to actually meet people and make connections and really get their name out there. Like some of the people that I met in the club, like some of them are New Yorkers, yes, but a lot of them aren't. Like they aren't from here. And I've noticed that a lot of them are either like models or influencers, like I said, or they're like trying to achieve like some creative goal. And they know that in order for that to work, they have to have their name out there because it's not gonna work. Like it's just not gonna work. Like if I go clubbing and I meet someone from New York, I'm like, hey bitch. Hey bitch. Oh my god, let me tell you. So I was in the section, right? And this black girl, she comes up to me. She's a doll. I could tell she's a doll. She's cute. She was like, how you feel around being all these white people? And I was like, clock that tea. Clock that tea, bitch. But to be fair, I don't feel uncomfortable because I'm like, girl, I'm there to party. Like, we there to get lit. You know what I mean? But also at the same time, it kind of just gives you perspective of the spaces that like that are it. You know what I mean? I think another point too is like I will go through the following of like a promoter or someone that hosts events, and every single girl they follow is white, white as fuck. And if she's not white, she's like an African model that has like the face card that will never decline. Swear to God, never declines. They're always gorgeous though. Shout out to my black queens. But yeah, I don't know. Like it just shows you what the scene and social life scene is like now. And I actually want to read something because one of my mutuals kind of chimed in on this. But hold on. Okay, let me read you this post. Okay, so she says, still seeing discourse about Dime Square makes me want to write a think piece on New York City downtown socialite photography and gentrification of artist culture. Or simply put, I am so fucking bored of weird rich white people. Meaningless and or circle jerk art is a deadly distraction and disease. Clock that T. And again, I really do feel like this plays into this conversation of not only in the art scene and those spaces, just in general. Like again, like they come here and they want their name out there and they're gonna do anything to put their name out there. And I completely understand. Like if you come here with no family and shit and you're trying to make your way, you're gonna do anything possible. But at the same time, like I said, there are New Yorkers that already have curated a lot of space for those things. And I feel like they have been washed away due to the fact that like they come in here and they start running shit and I'm like, whoa. And I really do think that resources plays a huge part in this. Obviously it's way easier for you to control something when you have money to back it up. Just point blank period. Like just in general. And I think it's so funny too because even speaking on just native New Yorkers, I've noticed even in like the smaller niche New Yorker space, the ones that I know of that are really popular, like inside of my head, it's like those girls that are like, if you know, you know. Um, even they're white or like racially ambiguous. So I feel like this is turning into like a race conversation. I mean, race plays a lot to do with everything. But I was making this in terms of just talking about New Yorkers, but like, I guess you can't talk about native New Yorkers without talking about white people. Like, I feel like that's inevitable. Also, can we like normalize social climbing? But not in like a weird way where you're only talking to people for that only reason. Like, I feel like it should be added to like a perk. You know, like if I talk to this person, then possibly something will happen. But also, you should be talking to people that you actually will fuck with in real life because those connections don't matter if you don't get along with those people. Because I know people that are like that where they'll be friends with someone strictly for one thing or to like be, I don't know, maybe that person has clout or whatever. But it's like if you don't actually like hanging around that person, then it's like, what even is the point? I feel like there's nothing wrong with talking to someone knowing they have some type of status or knowing that they know certain people. I think there's nothing wrong with that. But I feel like if that's your main motive all the time, it just looks weird. So don't drag it. Yeah, don't drag it. Because I feel like people be lying when they say like they don't do that because like they'll get around certain people and they'll read the room. You know what I mean? That's what reading the room is knowing. And there's nothing wrong with that. Also, that's the reason why half of these like fucking influencers are having these events in the first place. Like you think they're trying to be like buddy meeting with the family? No, bitch. They want to, you know, go off each other's clout or success or whatever they're trying to get going, and they do the same exact thing. Like, what do you think these dinners are that they're trying to do? Why do you think they want to know your following, who you follow, bitch, how many followers you got? Like, if this was some friendship shit, they wouldn't be asking for that. So I feel like if they can do it, we can do it too, especially as native New Yorkers. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, normalize social climbing for New Yorkers. Period. Like, I don't know. But yeah, I just really do feel like New Yorkers just need to start leaving their homes and taking up space. Period. Like when you go out, literally just start talking to people, seeing what they know, seeing where they be at, who they hang around, what they be doing. Because sometimes it really is necessary. Like you can't be no scary ass bitch. Like I really do feel like New Yorkers have the right to be in those spaces, but we just have to put ourselves in them in the first place. And someone may argue with me about that, but I stand true to that. Like genuinely, like I said, I know so many people that don't leave their boroughs, and it's like, how do we expect to like, you know, be in those spaces and be welcomed into those spaces? And even if we're not welcome, bitch, pull up anyways. If we're not there to begin with, like, be so for real. I also feel like I have to say this because I feel like someone's gonna take what I'm saying and be like, well, that's not me, that's not me. Bitch, if the shoe fit, wear it. If the shoe fits, wear it. And let me clarify too, like I said, that doesn't mean that every single person I meet in public is not from New York. This is not what I'm saying. I'm talking about specifically in those spaces and like who knows who, they're usually not from here. I just feel the need to say that because I feel like someone's gonna come in here and be like, well, I'm a New Yorker and da 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 da. There's always exceptions to the rules. Always. But if we're talking about in general, the proof is in the pudding, ho. The proof is in the pudding. Keep that in mind. But also, at the end of the day, just make sure that you're being genuine to yourself and you're not doing anything that you make, I don't know, like it makes you question who you are as a person. Like make sure whatever you're doing it for yourself and for who you want to be. Period. Like don't do it for nothing else because I feel like once you start doing things that are out of your realms or things that you normally wouldn't be comfortable doing, you're losing the plot, mama. Like you're losing the plot. So stick to what you like to do and stick to who you are as a person. And I think it's fine, to be honest. Like I feel like there's nothing wrong with that. Like normalize social climbing. Yes. Normalize leaving the boroughs. Normalize leaving the house. Normalize going out even if you don't make money. Normalize shaking ass with the girls. Normalize twerking that ass with the girls. And normalize loving yourself. Period.